Hello, hope everyone is doing well. I'm excited because the warmer weather is coming. I got some things planted, some little sprouts growing. I got spinach, some lettuce, hopefully some marigolds to come soon, or just sprout soon. I got a couple, like two right now, two sprouts of bell pepper plants. So I'm really excited about that. Those are in like my little nursery upstairs in my girls' room. I have like a little light in there and things like that. So I'm pretty excited. And I think maybe tomato sprouts, but I'm not sure at the end of the day because I'm just remembering now. I thought I was like 70% sure it was tomato, especially because of where I put them or where they were growing, these volunteer sprouts. But it could be either tomatoes or it could be more lettuce because I remember I did harvest the seeds from my lettuce plants from last season. And I remember putting those in the dirt. So those could just be coming up now. I did that like in fall. But now they might just be coming out, maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm hoping they're tomatoes because I use a lot of tomatoes. And homegrown tomatoes are the best, okay? Now, anyway. So, yeah, I'm just saying some things I'm looking forward to. I wrote a poem. I wrote a poem called A Seed Within by Jessiah Voné. And this poem I wrote for a challenge originally. However, I forgot that in order to enter into these challenges, you have to be part of the subscription. And so for now, I'm just going to participate in more in the free events that they offer, like open mic night, virtual open mic night, and stuff like that, which I did one time, and it was really cool. The theme of that open mic was confidence, and so everyone wrote a poem about confidence, and it was really quite beautiful to hear people expressing themselves through poetry. And it was really fun to be able to express myself as well and hear feedback from others. I really love that. I would love to do more of that, honestly. And so the theme of this challenge was to write about what's something that's blooming in your life. Okay, so, because it's springtime and stuff like that. So that was the theme that they had. And so I'll just share with you guys, So A Seed Within by Jessiah Voné. When the warm weather comes, it breathes life into me again. Although seeing the snow settled on the trees is really quite beautiful, but there is nothing like sitting in the sun and bathing in absolute bliss. Just like the lotus flower that represents overcoming adversity, so have I fought the battle of my life. I was running on a wheel with such intensity, but still going nowhere, and nowhere had it out for me. With no direction and little to no success in life, I had no one that offered me love, only little to no compassion. I had to look within. This is when a fire started. And then from the inside out, I blossomed too. I no longer was afraid or leading my life with fear. I walked away from everything and everyone that no longer serves me or my highest good. In doing so, I felt free. Free from limiting mindsets like I'm not good enough or that I have to chase love. I have to prove my worth by putting in more work than others. Yes, these self-sabotaging thoughts no longer keep me distraught. These thoughts had me unable to follow through, focus, or even believe in myself. Letting go of so many things helped me to see that all is not lost. And just like the lotus flower, there is also beauty in me. All glory to God, because of His grace and mercy. And so, within, deep within, there was a seed planted in the miry clay pit, and with some tender love and care, that seed grew and blossomed. Now the possibilities are endless, and I'm taking a leap of faith. A global thinker who is not afraid to speak out, speak up, and share my story to inspire many. Hopefully leading others to not give up on themselves as well. I was at the very bottom. I will only go up from here. A rising star, a motivational speaker, a Reiki healer. Excuse me. The possibilities are endless. Just like the weather, things will get better. And these new ventures are blossoming beautifully. And just like the lotus flower, you too will blossom beautifully when you plant those seeds of love deep within, by Jessiah Voné. Yes, so I want us all to plant the seeds of love inside of us. You know, there's so many things that can go wrong in life and so many things to judge yourself by. I think a lot of times we're really hard on ourselves, and that's connected to empathy as well. When we're hard on ourselves, we judge others even more harshly too, right? But we have to put that seed of love within deep within, and start to see the positive things about ourselves, right? And start that journey of self-love, and which means taking care of yourself, yes, but also accepting yourself for who you are and forgiving yourself for the mistakes you have made. A lot of times things happen to us, for our development of self, for us to grow, to learn to have perseverance, to learn to be more mature, right? Like, for example, I really grew up, and I grew up in poverty. Now, not the worst poverty. I've seen more poverty. Like my ex, for example, he grew up, you know, in a poverty that was on a deeper level than mine, right? Here in the United States, we take these things for granted. We take food stamps, free healthcare, free child care. I missed that. Okay, anyway. We take these things for granted, but a lot of countries don't have these resources, right? And so although I do feel like the welfare system in the long run does more harm than good, for me, it did help me in a moment where I needed it to. And now I am trying to withdraw from it to build my own foundation, right? And not be dependent on the government. But anyway, I'm going off again in a different direction. What I'm saying is believing in yourself, forgiving yourself, loving yourself will give you peace that you need. You know, we tend to attach ourselves to titles or what we have, right? For me, I put a lot of pride into being a wife with a cute husband and a beautiful family, and I attached myself to that image, and that is what defined me. So when it fell apart, even before it fell completely apart, I ignored red flags. I ignored the fact that things were happening in my relationship that were abusive and also were toxic, like cheating and stuff like that. But because I had to hold on to that image, you know, I had to hold on to it for dear life. You know, I subjected myself to things I didn't deserve or needed to deal with, you know, and we do that. Like, even with a job, you know, I had a job that I was kind of holding on to. It was like challenge after challenge in a way, like unspoken challenges, right? That I just felt, you know, with my Leo energy, gonna just persevere through, gonna pull through, gonna deal with whatever energy hits me with, negative energy at work that I'm hit with, right? But I came to a point where, hi, it's a cat. Hi, kitty cat, you're so cute. Okay, bye-bye. He's like, no food, bye. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes, I finally got to a point where I'm like, you know, this is actually becoming toxic for me, and I'm going to walk away. And I have been led to find my way outside of a 9-to-5, and so I'm doing that. I do feel like I'm led by God to be my own boss and take a leap of faith on myself and to learn some new skills and also work with what I have. Like, I like to write, work with that. I like to take pictures. When it comes to photography, it really is just a hobby because I have not put the time in to learn even my camera fully. I have not read the manual. And that's number one, they say. But anyway, but I love it, you know, still, you know. But anyway, so, you know, we got to remove ourselves from these attachments that can change. These things that can change in an instant, like the things we have, the cars, the clothes, all of this. These things can change. Even the title of a family, like title as Miss versus Mrs., right? Yeah. And it was freeing for me. And because I didn't subject myself any longer to toxicity, right? And that feels so good. And then I was able to finally look at myself and to accept myself. Yeah, I struggled with abandonment wounds greatly. And actually being in that marriage for so long, it was a trigger for my abandonment wounds, because there will always be, it was like a cycle. It would always come up where we would get in an argument. How, I don't know. Some of the things some of it was me led, because I would go through his phone and see stuff, and then I would bring it to him, and that would start an argument, right? Which is, it takes two to tango, right? But it was like a cycle, and then he would walk out without things being settled, and things like that, and it felt very triggering and threw me in a whirlwind of mental anguish, you know. And so letting go of that, I was able to be free of that. It was really weighing heavy on me, weighing heavy on my heart, on my mind, my mental health, on my motivation. You know, it was weighing heavy on me greatly. And to get rid of that, to finally let that go. I'm telling you, I feel like a new person. I do. And I also feel that now I know when there is an issue, not like coming from a judgmental perspective, but if you're like with someone or getting to know someone and you see something that doesn't, I want to say the word vibe, but I really am against that. No, I'm just kidding. If you're seeing something that doesn't match you, or doesn't match your energy, or doesn't vibe with you, I guess I'll just say it, then you can walk away. You don't have to hold on. You can walk away, especially before you get too entangled with the person, right? Emotionally, physically, with children, you know, kind of thing. So I'm glad that I have learned that, because I do want to go out there one day in the dating world, and I do want to be with true love, and I don't want to end up in the same similar situation where I'm with someone that we just don't go well together, right? Yeah. So we're all learning, right? We're all on the journey of life. We're all learning, and if we take the time, we all can become better and better and better and better and better and better. If we ever hit rock bottom, which I did, and just like me, you know, it can only go up from here as long as we're working on ourselves, right? Working on ourselves. And so, you know, it's beautiful. Some people have support with that. Some people don't. I'm not one of those people that feel supported in that. I'm surrounded by people that actually are surface level kind of love, you know, and that's okay, because that's another lesson to learn, right? How to deal with such things, and eventually how to pull away from toxicity altogether by the grace of God, you know, aka moving. No, but anyway, and which is a goal of mine, you know. It's been a little bit rough. But anyway, I love you too, sweetheart. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we have to be more gentle with ourselves and accepting our mistakes, even forgiving ourselves of those mistakes that we made. We can't harp on it. We can't rehash it over and over. And I used to do this thing. I used to be a rehasher. I did, and I'm so glad I'm out of that. Like, I used to rehash, like, oh my gosh, I did this. Oh my gosh, oh, like, you know, I'm say all this self-negative talk. I was very guilty of that, but not anymore. And so I'm so grateful. And please don't beat yourself up about it. If negative things happen in your life, take that as redirection. Take that as a moment to grow, an opportunity to grow. And as I'm speaking this, I'm living it. I'm learning it as I speak it. And I love you. Mwah. Much love by Jessiah Voné.